5:02, quorum being present, I'd like to call the planning board meeting of July 17th, 2025 to order. We've got our team together. By the way of board members, we have Beverly Bookin, Doug Cook, Jane Remsen, David Rosen, Steve Yost, Sean Henry, staff members in attendance this evening, Greg Catamatori, Alex Clopen, our community development director, Eric Henderly, and I think that's it. Right. First on the agenda this evening is a comprehensive plan update. Laura Smead of J.M. Goldston to present final comment and comprehensive plan for adoption.
All right, thanks, Rick. I'm going to share my screen. So welcome to our final meeting together. I can't believe we're here. At least I think it's our final meeting together. The intentions for tonight are to recap what we heard in the public comment period of the final draft of the comprehensive plan, do a recap of what we've accomplished together in the last 2 years. If needed, we can review and discuss the final comprehensive plan or the implementation matrix. And then I'm hoping that we can have a vote for adoption tonight. So that's very exciting. First, I just want to acknowledge the team that really came together in the last couple of years to make this plan happen. So there was a team of consultants, there was the planning board team and all of the Gloucester staff, and of course all the other people, the department heads, boards and committees, community groups. I mean, there was a lot of people who spent a lot of time and thought and energy into this plan, and I just want to say thank you to all of you and congratulations on getting to this point. So the planning process for us in May and June, we revised the comp plan and released it for public comment, and that public comment period ran all the way through the end of June. What we heard was there were 64 people who participated. Generally, it was really supportive of what we have in the plan. Where there was some criticism or concerns, it was related to wanting to make sure that the engagement continued to be inclusive and transparent. There were some who still, as I've heard in every comp plan I've ever done, there were some people who felt like they hadn't heard or been aware enough about the process. But and then there were primarily some concerns relating to implementation and accountability and funding and things like that that we know are the city is going to work hard to do. We'll get into how much engagement we have, but really you've done a fantastic job of reaching over and above and beyond the engagement goal. So to just kind of go through what we've accomplished together, the last comprehensive plan that the city did was in 2001, but a lot has changed in the last 24 years or so. Population shifts and innovation and issues and concerns around sustainability and things like that. So this plan is meant to acknowledge those different opportunities and challenges, this moment that Gloucester is in right now, and to provide a flexible roadmap to help shape and guide decisions for the community's future. And at its core, it's meant to answer what forces has shaped the city over time, what makes you unique, and how would the city like to move forward in the next 10 years. As you know, there was these different components that make up the plan, and they don't all live in one document, right? There's the detailed analysis of existing conditions, the community vision and goals for the next decade, the strategies for everything, zoning, programs, infrastructure, and then the implementation guide as well. There's the statutory elements that we meet per the Mass General Law, but as you know, we organize things into themes. So we have 4 themes for this comprehensive plan. We'd like to approach these things through a systems lens. And at the end of the day, we wound up with the one overarching vision 4 core themes, 24 goals, and 151 strategies. So the last 2 years were 4 phases. We started in June of 2023, understanding Gloucester's existing conditions, what's going on in Gloucester today, and different trends impacting the community. October to May in 2024 was really focused on community engagement intensively to do envisioning for the future and goal setting. We did strategy and a lot of strategy vetting, took our time with that to make sure we got it right. And then in the spring and into the summer, it was all about, prioritization and getting things wrapped up. So I can kind of breeze through these, but the phase 1 main deliverable was the existing conditions profile document. Then in phase 2, we had a public engagement and outreach plan that was kind of our roadmap for some of these things. And we summarized everything from phase 2 into that aggregated summary of community engagement. Developing strategies, we started with the big long list of strategies that went through technical working sessions and road shows and tablings and a whole bunch of other meetings that happened to try to get the strategies right. And we then did a goal prioritization survey with both the community and departmental managers. We talked about implementation with departmental managers and ultimately put it together into this document that's meant to be more public facing and designed and easy to read. And then the implementation matrix, which is the kind of living document with some Excel, and you can update it, and it has tabs for metrics as well as who's doing what when and so on. So some of the top priority goals for the entire plan, regardless of what core theme they were in, were upgrading public infrastructure, and broadly speaking, it might be facilities, it might be roads, schools, and then specifically interested in making more of a network of walking and biking facilities, having safe, accessible, and connected routes for pedestrians and cyclists, having a transportation network that's comprehensive, and that might be the buses and trains and ferries too. And then there's wanting to increase community participation by improving access to decision making and strengthening that central communication so people feel like they know how to get information they need and how to participate in the city's process. So in core theme 1, there was 2 equally top prioritized goals for that. There's housing stability, concern around housing stability. How do you have residents of all life, housing that can accommodate residents of all life stages, and wanting to attract diverse businesses to have fiscal balance and security for the community. The top priority goal for core theme 2 is the public infrastructure goal that we covered. The top priority goal for core theme 3 is advancing opportunities for reusing historic buildings and landscapes to honor Gloucester's heritage. And the top priority goal for 4 is the walking and biking goal that we talked about before. So engagement, you blew past the goal here of 2,973 participation points, and you wound up at the end with 3,958 participation points. So that's really fantastic. That's better than what we see in a lot of communities. And we know that you all put a ton of effort into helping get the word out and having, really, we can't see this level of engagement without all of your hard work and being ambassadors to your community and getting out there yourself and talking about it. So this is kind of by the highlights by the numbers, with everything done from phase 1 all the way to all the public comments we heard throughout all of the phases, but especially phase 4. So that just shows you a really pretty good community um, participation in all phases of the plan. And the next steps for us are doing a presentation to City Council next week, recapping similar to what we did with you all, the process. And then it's really, we handed the keys over to you and the City Council to form a comprehensive plan implementation committee and work annually to update the matrix as you need to, or the metrics as you need to, and stay, keep the momentum going. So that's really what I have. I just, want to applaud and see if you have any questions. I'm happy to, pull up any of the documents that I mentioned or shared with you, or answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
One last round of community feedback. Have we had a chance to review that as a group?
Are we talking about the public comment survey summary? Yeah, that should have been included in the packet of materials, but why don't I pull it up too? I have it here. Might be a little small. So we'll move it over. So this was, the final draft of the comp plan was posted on the website in late May, and it was left open through early July, and we had about 50 people participate in there. There was about 32 open-ended comments, and additionally, there was a separate meeting with 14 people who represented all the different neighborhoods and wards, and they wrote some separate notes and included that in there. And as I mentioned, it really seemed like when we look at some of the common themes, they're very similar to what we have in the plan. So they're expressing broadly supportive of the plan's intent, and they really are emphasizing things like housing affordability, wanting meaningful civic engagement, having clear implementation pathways as being, essential for success. And I don't disagree with that. There's still that, so some of this is really pretty consistent with what's in the plan. There's some, who are concerned that the plan's language is vague or overly flowery, and some are concerned that there might be some critical implementation details buried in the implementation matrix. So I would encourage the city to have the implementation matrix also available in a view-only fashion in some form, have a public view of that as well, so that people can see what that is. It is, as you know, it's sort of who does what when in a general way, and resources and things like that in there, but it's not, I don't want people to feel like they're missing out on something essential by not necessarily seeing that document. And there was a handful that were a little skeptical about the priorities in the plan, but really, that's reflective of hundreds of people. I think it was over 700 people took that survey. So, and it's a snapshot in time, but it was a really good response rate for that. And people might disagree. And all of the goals and strategies are important. They're in the plan for a reason. We didn't we kind of had a curated list at the end. So, but we do like to have some idea where people really want the city to focus. So I think that having some sort of priorities is helpful. And then, as I mentioned, people are curious of how the goals are going to be prioritized, measured, and funded. They want, they're just worried that it's going to be aspiration rather than actionable. And I think that's something that the city doesn't want to see either. The reason why you do the plan is so you can implement it. So that's the future work to do. And then just some other, things that were discussed, things, wanting, again, things that are in the plan. So wanting that infrastructure updated, having urgency around climate change, concerns about the working waterfront of the blue economy, and wanting more services for older adults came up as well. So as we see in a lot of engagement, these survey participants did skew a little bit older. They were more women than men, and the racial makeup was pretty much on track with what the community is. And it was actually a pretty widespread of different incomes, at least those that responded to the that question. And we didn't ask about kind of demographics for those who met on the independent meeting, so I don't know those demographics, but they did say that they represented all neighborhoods and wards. So, and then I have all of the transcriptions there, so you can read for yourself any specific comments.
Thank you, Laura. Any other questions for Laura? Alex, do you have a comment after the end of this process?
Well, I'll just say that coming on last summer as a new community development director was a great time to work through a comprehensive planning process. I think I've learned a lot about the kinds of ambitions and challenges that Gloucester has, as well as all the community organizations, all the different areas of Gloucester that we got to engage with throughout the process. I think it's great to see about over 4,000 people engaged, and I think this is a great roadmap for the community development department and the city and everybody involved to focus on in the future. The plan is for the mayor to appoint an implementation committee to oversee that. That'll have broad representation across city boards and committees. They'll work with our department to do annual reporting on progress made, and to be a resource to other boards and committees that may have a role in implementing some of those recommendations. So I'm excited to kind of take the next step and work towards taking action on these items. I believe this evening we're asking the planning board to take a vote on whether to adopt the plan, and then next Tuesday we will present the final plan to city council. So I don't know if there's any questions for me, or if maybe the board's ready to consider a motion.
Beverly?
Do you want to make a motion first so that we can have conversation within the motion? Is that a better?
Well, I was going to ask Mr. Cadamatori, our planning director, if he had any comments to wrap up this process before we get into the operational side.
Sure. I think in many ways, if you read one section, it sometimes conflicts with other sections. I don't think there's a topic that's raised that won't have differences of opinions in the community, and that's why we have public processes and public discussions. I'm really interested, and I think the approach of the development of the implementation was very robust and really had a lot of feedback from city departments, interviewing a lot of different folks, and then also getting the public's perspective on these things and what they might want to prioritize. I think it really highlights that this is not going to be something that's going to be carried out by one department. The prior plan had a lot of assignment to a lot of things where, there may have been folks that weren't even aware, that they were responsible for portions of its implementation. So I think it really is going to be a matter of the strength of the implementation committee that's set up to really be a voice and education to folks of how they can engage with the plan and be part of its implementation. And there's no shortage of initiatives as well. So there's, the five areas were really evaluated, very deeply, and there's a lot of recommendation. In terms of the feedback that we received, I think a lot of it was very positive. There were comments about, people liked the way they had the ability to be engaged. And then there's also criticism. So I think that's always the challenge. How do you reach that person that, missed a meeting or wasn't aware of a meeting? And there's a whole section of implementation about that. How can we better communicate and meet people where they're at? And we all lead busy lives. I mean, I get paid to do it. Alex gets paid to do it. Eric gets paid to do it. And it's just, how do you engage with folks that are going on in their busy lives and probably care about a lot of the different aspects of the plan, and may just not have the opportunity or the time, to be a part of the implementation. So I think that will be a big role, and I'm excited to see that move forward.
Thanks, Greg. Sean, you have a quick question?
Yeah, just actually before we move on to voting, I had just rereading everything leading up to the meeting. Just had one request for an edit on page 12 in the list of all our past studies and plans that were used to inform this new plan. Left out from that were the Reimagining Railroad Avenue, a study from 2014, and the downtown work plan, which I think was 2015. And I think both those are reflected in a lot of the goals and efforts that came out of this plan. So I think it would be good to actually include those in the list, because I do think those were essential components of driving part of this discussion, particularly for the downtown area.
Yeah, thanks for catching that, Sean. So if you want to take a vote, you could vote with the condition that change is made, or any other changes that the board member might want to make.
That's it for me.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Jane, do you have a motion?
Sure, I'll make one up. I move that what are we doing now? Are we approving it? Adopting it?
Recommending. Adopting. Yeah.
No, it's just you guys. You're adopted.
Okay,
Sure.
so I recommend that we adopt the comprehensive plan as presented to us tonight and as amended.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Jane Ramsden. We have a second by Sean Henry. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll need a roll call vote.
Member Noonan,
Yes.
Member Remsen,
Yes.
Member Bookin,
Yes.
Member Cook,
Yes.
Member Henry,
Yes.
Member Rosen,
Yes.
and Member Yost.
Yes.
Okay.
Well done.
Unanimous.
Awesome.
Well
Wow.
done.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys.
Well, thank you, all of you.
Yes.
And
Thank
please
you.
pass our thanks on to Jen too.
Yes, I
And-
will
and-
pass it
and
on
your
to our
team.
team.
Terrific job.
Thank you. All right, well, I'll do this same presentation to the city council next week.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank you.
Hopefully-
Thanks,
you, Laura.
Laura.
All right. And I look forward to seeing what happens in Gloucester. So, all right. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Evening.
Okay, thank you for all of that. That didn't seem like 2 years, but definitely was.
It seemed like 2 years to me.
So next under the agenda this evening is a common driveway special permit application. Common driveway special permit is submitted by Anthony Gigaloni and Mike Fazio, care of Seaside Legal Solutions at 9 and 11 Andrews Court, Assessor's Map 237, lots 49 and 126. My understanding is the applicant has requested to be continued to the August 7th, 2025 menu. I just need a motion to that effect, please.
So moved.
We have a motion by Doug Cook. I need a second.
I'll
Second.
second.
Give it to Mr. Yost, new guy. Roll call vote, please.
Member Noonan,
Yes.
Member Remsen,
Yes.
Member Cook,
Yes.
Member Bookin,
Yes.
Member Henry,
Yes.
Member Rosen,
Yes.
and Member Yost.
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. So under other business, we have one set of minutes from June 26, 2025.
I had one small comment on that.
Was it
And also,
dramatic?
Catherine, is this your swan song?
It is.
Thank you so much
And thank
for your great work.
You're welcome. And thank you all for your generous thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was a hard email to read, Catherine.
Oh, thank you.
You
It is
really dug us out of a deep hole.
You did.
How many sets of minutes did you prepare? Do you know that offhand?
I did figure it out. I want to say, let's see if I have it, because it's good data.
Yeah, we had a spreadsheet at one point.
89, well, this is a few months ago.
Oh,
So
God.
89 minutes total, 30 sets of archive minutes.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
So probably up to
Excellent.
100. We'll say
Impressive.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say 100.
We'll call it that.
So that
So
allows you to retire at 80% of salary.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll make a motion for that.
my comment is on page 2, the bottom of page 2. Keep going. Oh, right there. So where it says, the board will require the submission of clearly articulated conditions and waivers. I just want to add after waivers requested. In order to suggest that they are requesting it from us, not that we're granting them necessarily. Or I say waivers that have been requested.
Or requested waivers.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
So accept the motion to approve the minutes from June 26, 2025.
So
So
moved.
So a motion by Jane Ramsden and a second, anyone?
Second.
Rosen gets that one. Roll call vote,
Yeah.
please.
Member Noonan,
I think I was absent in this one, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
So I will abstain from the vote.
member Renson,
Yes.
member Bookin,
Yes.
member Cook,
Yes.
member Henry,
Same.
member Rosen,
Yes.
and member Yost.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, hope everybody's comfortable at home.
You can get on with your evening. So we have a couple of subcommittee meetings that we'll sort out over the next couple of weeks, but otherwise, the next regular meeting is August 7th. It's hard to believe.
Oh,
We'll
geez.
otherwise see the balance of the board in August.
Excellent. So I'll accept the
Very
motion.
cool.
I so
Oh, yeah.
move.
So we have a motion to adjourn by Beverly Bookin. I need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you,
Oh.
Steve. All in favor?
Okay.
A vote, please.
Member Noonan,
Yes.
member Remsen,
Yes.
member Bookin,
Yes.
member Cook,
Yes.
member Henry,
Yes.
member Rosen,
Is he frozen?
His lips moved.
there's a thumbs up,
There you go.
and member Yost.
Yes.
Okay, have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thank
you.
Take care.
Night. See you.